Hey guys, welcome to Woomera! Woomera was established in 1947 as a site for launching British rockets. The very first rocket launch from Woomera occurred in 1957, and they continued on until the last satellite was launched, which was the Prospero X3 in 1971.
In 1953, an artificial town of Woomera was created to house all the personnel from the US and Australian Air Forces. Woomera was a strictly no-go, closed town and facility from 1947 until 1982. Woomera site's been used for many and varied applications, including an asylum detention centre from 1999 to 2003. There's a few things you can do here while you're at Woomera. You can check out the missile and rocket park, where some of the units that were launched from here are displayed, and the museum, which is pretty cool, and also the observatory. Do a little bit of stargazing, so come along and check out Woomera with us.
That's one big rocket.
Pretty cool.
This one's called Blue Steel.
Oh, this is the failed one.
Yeah.
Never got off the ground as a real weapon. Actually, I've got to cut all this stuff and place it here. Looking at Daryl.
That's called a Thunderbird.
Thunderbirds are go!
An anti-aircraft rocket.
Woo!
Americans sold all rights and titles back to the Australian government for the grand sum of $1. Check visibly on display was never cashed.
Two rockets, flying at 5 times the speed of sound and undetectable by radar, were launched from the Netherlands towards Nightcaps. They carried bombs weighing a ton, which created a crater 13 meters deep and 36 meters wide when they landed.
Buy much, couldn't buy candy without the coupons. My mother's house was 2 blocks over and we had this terrible crash. We all ran out to sea.
For 2 months, the British government didn't reveal its concern about these missiles, though it seriously considered evacuating London.
So we're in the prohibited area of Woomera now, which used to be a scary sort of place when you heard its name, didn't it? Like it's, you know, when you think of Woomera. So we're just checking out the little museum at Woomera. So all the rocket history and the US Air Force history basically of this area.
If we look up here, this is what Woomera is named after.
Okay.
It's named after this device here. It's a throwing implement to help throw the spear. So down the bottom of the spear down here is a little hole which goes into this pin here, or tooth, that they use. And then that would more than double the actual throwing power of the actual spear itself, and it's also a lot more accurate.
Pretty interesting. Divides up the rockets, so telemetry, your guidance unit, piston and vent valves, liquid oxygen pipe, fuel tank. Wow, motor right down the back. pretty complex. And you have to remember that those were made way back in the 1940s.
Those are little glass valves, which from the old black and white TV ages. You had to wait for your TV to warm up before it started. This is the same technology.
Did you manage to track that?
No, I lost it.
You lost it?
Yeah, halfway.
Oh. You're not going to be any good at tracking missiles then, are you?
Can't do that job. The kind of missile might have covered 150 metres, so they followed it by hand, by eye, by
Rear
naked.
launcher, ready for firing.
10.
Meteor camera pod. So how does that work?
Well, it would have had cameras in it, and the lenses would have came out through these windows here, so there would have been cameras mounted inside there, and a couple of little cameras there.
The ginger bit basically is your first drones, really, isn't it? It's a craft up there, all operated by radio.
In this interception trial, a fire flash missile was fitted to a meteor jet launched from the airstrip.
Target is now straight.
These came in a range of shapes and sizes, but usually had a very specific purpose.
High-speed camera. It can take up to 2,000 frames per second and play back at normal speed. The image is slow drive down, so you can actually see in great detail what's actually going on. The film would last about 10 seconds.
Design and build a satellite launched at Woomera was Australia. Remarkably, it achieved this extraordinary feat a mere 10 years after the launch of the Russian Sputnik in 1957. Australia became only the 4th country in the world to launch its own satellite, albeit on an American rocket.
Australia's first satellite.
A few minutes later, the 3rd stage tipped the satellite into orbit. Australia had become a member of the International Space Club.
nebula was.
No, the cluster.
The cluster. Above everybody else that was at the astronomy night.
Yes.
And what did you win?
I won the sun.
Hey. Woo.